Well, good morning. It is Saturday, August 14th, and we have gathered for a morning devotion. Brian McLaren, Seeking Aliveness is the book that we are using. And today we have a new Bible reading. It's from Micah 6, verses 7 and 8, and you will know these passages. Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, with 10,000 rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? He has told you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you but to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with our God? And so today's devotion is called The Impossible is Possible. Have you ever felt that it was too late? That things were so awful they could never get better? That you have failed so horribly and so often you can never ever recover? That the situation was too far gone ever to be salvageable? That's how Sarah and Abram felt at one point in their lives. Like many couples, they had dreamed all their lives of having children, but the years passed and no children came. They had received a promise from God that they would become a great family and that all the people everywhere would be blessed through their descendants. But there was one problem. There was no descendants. When they were far too old to have children, you can imagine how they felt. It's just too late. Then they received assurance from God that they would have a child. No wonder, according to the book of Abraham, Sarah laughed when she first heard that promise. However they felt at first, over time Abraham and Sarah came to believe that what they seemed impossible would be possible after all. When the impossible baby was born, guess what they named him? They named him Isaac, which means laughter. And their names were true, reflecting the new status of parents from Abram to Sarah to Abraham and Sarai. So think about those times in your lives when you thought it's just too late to do something. Why start now? I'm 50 years old, pushing 51. Why should I start something new? God is saying in the story of Abraham and Sarah that it's just not too late. God had promised them many descendants. So many descendants as you couldn't even count it. It's the grains of sand in the sea and the number of stars in the sky. God had promised them in descendants, and they laughed. At least Sarah laughed, because she was old and barren. No children have ever come into their lives. Yet God followed through on that promise and gave them the child Isaac, which means laughter. It's never too late for a new beginning. It's never too late to start over. God has given us the stories of Abraham and Sarah and others to show that. God wants us to have new beginnings in our lives that bring us closer to Him. God wants us to realize it's never too late to follow through what God has in store for you. Go forth this day in the peace and the love of Christ.